What's good, YouTube? Mega Man 1378 here. Locals, round 3. I'm not gonna go ahead and jinx myself like I did last week and say we're gonna get first. Honestly, we haven't been doing too hot. So, the plan today is to get top 4. Last week, there's top 4 payout. Well, top 4 straight with a payout for everybody, first to 4th place. So, let's aim for top 4 today. That's our first goal. If we get that, then we can aim higher for the next goal. I should have the deck profile coming up shortly, since we did make some changes. And the only reason you won't see the deck profile is if I end up coming in top 4, because I'll just do a separate deck profile video for that. We're gonna go meet up with Beans again like we did last week. Both of us are gonna try to go ahead and do really well. Last week he actually made top 4, so he did way better than I did. Let me know if you guys want to see his deck profile, and I'll get that for you guys. But it's almost time for locals, I believe. Yep, it's 12 o'clock. It just opened up. Should be starting soon in about 45 minutes. So let's go ahead and get that bread. All right, guys. I said this like 100 times already, but this is our week. We're gonna win today. Why? Because we finally have Dogmatika Maximus. It took a while to get it, but I got it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. The very first card that we have today is now 3 copies of Infernoble Knight Renault. Yet, we're not actually going to be playing Dogmatika today. I put a lot of thought into it, and while I do like the Dogmatika deck, I needed to go back to another deck that I had some more success with, and a lot more fun with too, with Infernoble Knights. Dogmatika is a great deck, and I do have fun with it as well. It's just, it wasn't doing it these last 2 weeks, so let's try something different. So we're gonna go with the first 3 cards, 3 Renault. Then we have 3 Olivier, 2 Ogier. A lot of people only play 1 Ogier, but I personally like him at 2, and we'll explain why a little later. Then the best starter in the deck, we have 3 Neospace Connector, and of course the 1 Aqua Dolphin that goes with them. For extenders, we're on 3 Red Layer and 2 Fire Flint Lady. For our combo pieces, we are on 1 TG Striker, 1 Vylon Sphere, 1 Despot 01, and 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Cult Wing. Sphere and 01, because they both have 2 different lines and combos we can go into depending on which one we happen to draw. The only hard brick in the deck is honestly the Cult Wing. If you wanted to, you can drop the Vylon Sphere for a second Cult Wing so that you can always try to make sure you have one in your deck so you can combo. And then the last card is the 1 Gearfried. So this is why we're playing 2 Ogier. Gearfried's a great card, don't get me wrong, but opening multiple Gearfrieds with no other cards makes you have to essentially use Gearfried as an extender. And you don't really want to do that. So you can always search for Gearfried off of Isolde or off of Roland in the end phase. So playing it at 1 is not too big a deal. And then of course with 2 Ogier, you can also search Gearfried directly into your hand with a combo by comboing him with Renault. So that's our monster lineup. For spells, we're on 3 Heritage of the Chalice. I don't think anybody is questioning that. That's very obvious. Then 3 Durandal, 3 Living Fossil, and you guys can roast me in the comments for only having 1 secret and 2 commons. If I had a 3rd common, believe me, I'd be playing all 3 commons, and if I had 2 more secrets, I'd be playing all 3 secrets. But anyway, Living Fossil is one of the main combo pieces of the deck now, so we need to play it at 3. Also, it has great synergy with Neospace Connector, as well as Herald of the Arclight. We're playing 1 DDR. DDR combos really nicely with the Phoenix Blade that we have as well. Being able to summon a Banished Isolde is crazy. Also, being able to summon any of your Banished guys is actually really good. Sometimes you can even rip out multiple cards from your hand with an Omega if you use DDR. So that's always fun to do. And then of course, the last one of equip, we have the Smoke Grenade of the Thief. Next up for the spells, we have really powerful 1-ofs, Magical Midfield Breaker, Monster Reborn, and Reinforcements of the Army. And then to wrap up our spells, we're playing 3 Dark Ruler No More. So that's our whole deck. You may have noticed there are no hand traps. We're going all in with going first. So we need to win a lot of die rolls today. If we lose a die roll and don't open Dark Ruler No More, then we auto scoop after we find out what the opponent's playing. And our side deck should take us there. Speaking of which, let's go to our extra deck first, and then we'll do our side deck. We're playing 2 Isolde, I think that's pretty standard. One Link Cross, one Haka Fibrax, and to wrap off our links, the one Auroradon for combos with tokens as well as with Auroradon. For Synchros, we're on Formula because sometimes you need a level 2 and you aren't able to summon TG Striker off of Assault, so it's always good to have Formula as a backup. We're doing the one Metal Marcher, the one Tatsunoko, the one Herald of the Arclight, one Captain Roland, a shame that he's a common, and one Lancelot. So a lot of people aren't playing this card, but he's actually really good, especially when you do the OGR combo, because you go into him after adding Gear Free to your hand, and you get to basically equip Durandal to him. You can pop off the Durandal to search for a Fireflint Lady, and then you make Gear Freed as your 4th summon and equip OGR from your graveyard to him, special the Fireflint, and then use him and Fireflint to go into Assault and continue your regular combo line. So he's actually really good. One Power Tool, which is why we're doing 3 Living Fossil. So we make Power Tool as part of our combo to search for a Living Fossil, which gives us access to a level 2, which lets us go into Roland and to Borreload Savage Dragon. We're also playing Omega. Omega is part of our combo if we start off with a Gear Freed. We sometimes just need to clear our zones, and so Omega is one of the best cards to do that. And then the last card, of course, is Emperor Charles himself. Really insane card, doesn't target, fantastic. For side deck, we're on triple Nibiru. Then we're on the Gamma package. One Pankratops for going second, a Red Reboot for also going second, and also against Trap decks. 3 Evenly Match. This card is really, really great, especially when you combine it with Dark Ruler No More. And then the last is 3 Infinite Impermanence. So this is the deck, guys. I probably wasn't as confident with the Dogmatika as I am with Infernoble Knight, so let's just get into the games and see how well we do. I'm not going to jinx myself today. Last week, totally jinxed myself, saying I was going to get number 1. Today, let's just try to get 3rd place. How about that? Let's see how well we do, okay? I'll see you guys then. Hey there, guys. It's Mega in Post. So, couple things to note. First things first, I had absolutely no time between rounds to record my recap, so that is why everything is going to be done in post, and you're not going to see me appear on screen outside of locals talking about how each round went. The next thing is, we have a different camera angle. I felt the old angle obscured the field too much, and so while this one may be a bit, it's a bit weird, but I feel like it's better for capturing both my field and the opponent's field. So I think this is the angle that I'll be going with from now on. In fact, if you guys like this angle more, let me know in the comments below. The last thing is, I was trying out a new method of recording. So normally what I would do is I would just turn the camera on and just let it record for the entire 40 minutes for a round. But this time around, I decided to break them up into bunches per duel. And for some reason, I ended up having a lot more footage than what I normally have. So what I ended up doing was just taking a single duel from each round and talking over it. Because once I actually got down to editing, I noticed the video was 40 minutes long, and I don't even like hearing myself talk for that long, so I doubt you guys would like to hear that. But enough about that, let's talk about this first duel right here in the first round. So my first round opponent was playing Heroes. He wins the die roll, he gets to go first, so he sets 2 cards face down, which kind of tells me he doesn't really have the best hand. It turns out the 2 cards he set was 2 Infinite Impermanence. Our opening hand was 2 Durandal, 2 Red Layer, Striker, and a Living Fossil. TG Striker and a Living Fossil, I should say. So we special summon the Red Layer, and we activate a Durandal, in the same aisle as his Impermanence, so he decides to flip it on our Red Layer to stop us from basically searching with Durandal. But we had a second one, so we just activate the second one, and we search for Fireflint Lady. We special Fireflint, then we normal summon TG Striker, which is full combo. So we make a sold with using Fireflint and Red Layer. No need to use either effect since we already have the TG Striker, and we have another Red Layer in hand. So we proceed to make Link Cross, which he reveals his second Infinite Impermanence, which is fine. We can still go off pretty much from there. We actually do goof the full combo. We should have been able to end on a Herald and a Charles, but I made a mistake. I got a little bit too excited, and so we end up ending on a Power Tool Dragon and a Charles. But with Charles being able to use Smoke Grenade to rip out a Dark Calling from the opponent's hand, they pretty much scoop once they draw the next card and see they don't have anything. Round 2 is kind of similar. They get to go first. They set up, I forget which Destiny hero it is, but they use Fusion Destiny to summon this one Destiny hero that peaks at the top 5 cards of your hand. I thought it was pretty cool, but it pretty much did nothing because I was able to just full combo right after that. He tries to Nibiru, but we have Phoenix Gearfried with a negate setup, so that was pretty much it for round number 1. Okay, so for round number 2, we're up against Zombie World Eldritch, and we get to go first. We won die roll. Our opening hand is kind of awkward, but it's playable. It's of Coltwing, Phoenix Gearfried, Durandal, Darker No More, and Renault. We summon Renault, we equip him with Durandal, we attempt to resolve Durandal to search for a Fire Flint Lady, but he has the Ash Blossom to stop us from doing that. So we decide instead to just banish the Durandal in order to summon Phoenix Gearfried. With Phoenix Gearfried, we go and we make a Sold, and we don't add on to summon because we're trying to play against some other kind of hand traps, but we do send 2 cards to the graveyard in order to attempt to summon our tuner. He decides, he shows us Imperm, but he takes it back really quickly, and I'm inclined to just let him do it. I feel like it's fine. So we do end up getting our TT Striker, and when we make the Link Cross, this is when he decides to drop the Impermanence. I felt like the Impermanence was much stronger on the Isolde, just considering what our hand was. It wasn't that great. And if you're going to Imperm something, I probably wouldn't Imperm Link Cross. I probably would save it for either the Isolde or definitely the Link Cross. But since he actually just did it on Link Cross itself, we're able to make Needle Fiber using Link Cross and TT Striker, bring out Despot, then go into Auroradon, make 3 tokens. We use Power Tool's effect in order to add ourselves a Living Fossil. We tribute both, or sorry, we don't tribute anything because, well, we can't. We got the Coltwing in our hand. What we do decide to do, however, is activate the Living Fossil to bring back the Despot and make a Borreload Savage Dragon with 2 negates by equipping the Sold. I feel like this is strong enough in order to stop what his plays are. We don't really know what he's playing just yet until he actually plays his first card for turn, which is actually going to be Golden Eldland. Once he activates Golden Eldland's effect to, however, pay 800 life points in order to search a card, I decide to negate that with Borreload Savage Dragon. That pretty much ends his turn. He just sets a card, and then he passes turn to me. On my turn, we activate another Living Fossil. I think we drew it off the top, and we just synchro for Renault. Sorry, not Renault. We synchro for Roland, and we just proceed to attack for game. He tries to punishment us, use Dogmatic Punishment, but we negate that with Borreload Savage, and that's pretty much all she wrote for that round. For game number 2, he gets to go first. He actually activates Zombie World, which is a huge pain in the butt. We can't really play through Zombie World since none of our monsters are warriors, meaning we can't really make a Sold, and then we can't even make Auroradon, which both are kind of required very heavily for all our combos. So we lose game number 2. In game number 3, we get to go first, and we just play hard into a Nibiru. I think my opening hand was something like it was DDR, Oliver, Renault, and 2 other cards. They weren't cards that I could use to extend. So with the opening hand we did, I figured the best play was to discard the DDR to special summon the Oliver, and especially Renault to get DDR back. But we ended up playing right into Nibiru in that case, so there wasn't really much I could do. This is the first loss we take in this tournament. So we're leaving round 2 X1, but I'm still feeling pretty confident that we can just take our next 2 games and end up winning. So yeah, I'll see you guys for round 3 and enjoy the rest of this duel. Alright, so round number 3, and we're playing against Invoked Eldritch. We take this round 2-1. We lose game 1 after losing the die roll due to some very crafty play by my opponent's part. He says 4 back row and passes. On my go, I summon a Dolphin. Not a Dolphin, I summon a Neospace Connector, and we try to get as far as we can. It's actually a really good back and forth grind game, which ends on him summoning Golden Lord from graveyard with a Makaba, and trying to enter battle phase. And when I tried to equip Roland from my graveyard to Gearfried, which also has a Golden Lord from the opponent equipped to him, to try to make him 4,000 to make it so that neither Golden Lord nor Makaba could get over him, unless he was discarding 2 Alistairs. It'd be the only way to get over him. But when I try to activate Roland's effect in Grave to equip to Gearfried, he chains Makaba, and I chain Phoenix Gearfried, which would have been fine, but I actually send the Oliver instead of the Ogier. And the reason why I wanted to keep the Ogier was to prevent Gearfried from being popped by Hokkaido. Or sorry, not Hokkaido, by Conquistador. So I send the Oliver, but by sending Oliver, I open him up to being targeted again, and so he ends up chaining Imperm, and that pretty much takes the first game. The second game, though, we go second. I'm not sure why. I think I let him go first. Can't be entirely sure why I let him go first, but yeah, he went first. He summoned Magician Souls, and just discarded a Hokkaido, and then activated Meltdown to search for Alistair. I guess he was trying to bait out a hand trap, but it was a very awkward opening from him. So on my turn, I just, try to full combo. I activate Heritage Chalice to get Ogier. I summon the Ogier trying to bait out a back row. Sure enough, it eats an Impermanence. From there, it's pretty much full combo. We special Renault. We synchro for Lancelot, which lets me equip a Durandal. The main reason why we needed to go for Lancelot is so we can get equipped in Graveyard for Gearfried in order to go ahead and summon. And from there, it's full combo. He acknowledges this. He asks me, do I have full combo? I respond, yeah, it's pretty much full combo. And so he decides to go ahead and scoop it up once I use Omega to take a card out of his hand. So the only card left he has in hand right now at this point is Alistair. And it's pretty much a solid win for me at this point. Game number 3, though, that was a grind fest. I can't really recall too much about what happened. All I know is that every time I play against this guy, I have a lot of fun, and that tends to be when I kind of forget what goes on in the matches. But regardless, it was a huge grind game that ended with me summoning a Phoenix Gearfried towards the very, very end of the game, and him not being able to get over the monster negate that Gearfried offered with the protection of Ogier and Oliver. It was pretty much what spelled the game out for it. So we took this round again, 2-1. So we'll see you for round number 4. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of this duel. Alright, so now we're at round number 4 against Dogmatika Invoked. I actually started recording this a bit late, but it's not too hard to figure out what pretty much happened. So he just activated Meltdown to get Alistair, summoned Alistair to get Invocation. He's doing normal Invoke Dogmatika plays. It opens up really, really well with basically a way to get his Alistair and a Servants of Nadir, which gives him pretty much the full combo for Dogmatika Invoked. I'm just going ahead and reading Makaba to make sure I completely understand it. He actually places it in the extra monster zone, which I thought was kind of weird. I'm not sure what the thought process of placing it in the extra monster zone is. I mean, I guess no one is playing Cyber Dragon, so he doesn't need to worry about Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon or whatever, but that's besides the point. He actually ends up playing probably the only Floodgate I wasn't really able to deal with today, which was Secret Village of the Spellcasters. We opened up really, really well, but without access to the Monster Reborn, we drew, as well as the Midfield Breaker, and I believe we draw Dark Lunar War for my turn. Not really able to do much, to be honest. And round number 2 isn't much better. I mean, we do open full combo, which is great. We get to go first and all that. But what's not good is you open up 3 hand traps. You open up Imperm, Ash Blossom, and Ghost Ogre. And we're just not able to play through all 3 of those. He Ashes my Aqua Dolphin on summon. He Imperms my Link Cross, which a lot of people seem to be doing. And then he Ghost Ogred my Halqifibrax. And that was pretty much it. It went into a really long grind game, but Dogmatika Invoke outgrind pretty much any deck, and so that was it. That was pretty much it. So we ended up losing this round 2-0, and not gonna lie, getting hand trapped that many times kind of left a salty taste in my mouth, but that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! You live, you learn. Overall, I'm really happy with the deck's performance. I'm glad that I took Infernal Knights to this tournament. I forgot how fun combo decks could be to play. So I think that I'm going to keep playing Infernal Knights for maybe another week, maybe another 2 weeks. I know that I said Maximus was all we needed in order to pretty much win with Dogmatica Invokes. But I think even though we do have Maximus now, I think I'm going to just take a break from that deck for a little bit and just keep playing Infernal Knights. If we are going to keep playing Infernal Knights, though, a couple things do need to change. Even though we opened up Gearfried a lot of times in most of our duels, I was finding myself missing the second Gearfried, especially against the Zombie World player if he's going to be a mainstay. Not being able to special summon Renault and getting Gearfried back from the graveyard is a huge pain. So definitely going to play a second Gearfried. And the next thing we're going to play is hand traps. I definitely miss not having hand traps in the main. Without any hand traps in the main, you pretty much are at the whims of your opponent. And you have to hope that you open Dark Ruler. And while, yeah, I was playing a go first or bust build, I find it, I don't really like that too much. And even sometimes when I side decked 10 hand traps, I just didn't see any. So I think that, yeah, we're going to main deck some hand traps. Overall, we got 5th, which wasn't our goal. We wanted to reach 3rd place this week, but I can't be too upset. We just changed decks. We made a build for this deck literally like maybe 2 or 3 days before the tournament, so we didn't get too much time to test. But now I'm going to be able to test a little bit more with this deck, and hopefully next week we can do much better. Let's aim for something a little bit lower. Let's aim for 4th place. Let's do that. Let's aim for 4th place. So remember, guys, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, comment down below. Subscribe if you guys aren't already. Let me know, what do you guys think I should do? You think I should stick with Infernal Knights, or you think I should play Dogmatica Invoked? If there's a lot of people who really want to play Dogmatica Invoked, I'll go back to playing that. But I do think that I'll be sticking with Infernal Knights for the foreseeable future. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the duel, guys. This is Mega Man 1 through 78, logging out.